Welcome to the third and final episode in the anniversary collection of the cards she left behind. Before we dive into the lesson on the index card for today, I would like to first pay a tribute to my mother. My mother's name was Dr. Bridget Nwabuzor. She was 76 years old when she passed away peacefully on August 16, 2025 at 2 p.m. in Duluth, Georgia. She was a mother of 6 children. I am her second child. I have a sister and 4 brothers. She was a grandmother of 10 grandchildren. She was a sister. She was an aunt. She was an in-law, and she was a friend and mentor to others. My mother loved living, and she never wanted to leave us as soon as she did. My mother fought the good fight to live. She was well educated. She was an avid reader, and she would spend hours with a very good book. She loved flowers. Her favorite flowers were roses. She loved to build family albums and celebrate life's special moments with her family. My mother loved technology. While people her age were avoiding technology, she was embracing it. She had all of the latest Apple gadgets, from iPhones to iPads, and she actively used all of her social media accounts. She was always looking to learn something new. My mother was also a devoted Catholic, and she loved to travel the world learning new cultures. She was also married to my father for 45 long and happy years before he passed away in November of 2014. I have a confession to make. When my mother would send us those text messages by phone with the words of wisdom, I wouldn't always read it. But I didn't have the heart to tell her that I never read it when she would ask. But I guess she's having the last laugh now, because through this channel, her words live on. Her lessons stay with us, and her legacy endures. So as I close out this tribute, my siblings and I would like to say goodnight to my mother one last time. First in English, and then in our Nigerian language as a nod to her heritage. So, Mommy, there will never be enough words to express how much you meant to us. We are very grateful for all of the years that we shared and for the love that you gave all of us so freely. We will always remember you. And so one last time, Mommy, good night. Sleep well. We love you. Onowu, osodieli, kachifwe. So for the lesson on this card, I'm going to hold it up so you can see what my mother says. The words on this card are very simple. It's the word hope. And my mother says it's an acronym that stands for hold on, pain ends. I'm going to read it again. My mother says that the word hope stands for hold on, pain ends. At first, it seems like such a simple word. But after my mother passed, I started to wonder if it meant a whole lot more to her. You see, hope was one of my mother's favorite words. As a matter of fact, she was an entrepreneur at some point in her life, and the word that she named her group of companies was hope. You know, on the day my mother passed is a day that I'll never forget. I arrived at her house for my daily visit, and as soon as I went into her bedroom and I looked at her, my mind knew that this was the end, but my heart would not accept it. So I made her some tea and sat with her to have a conversation. She told me that she took 30 tablets a day and that they were no longer working. You heard me, 30 tablets. She took those every day. She also told me that she believed she was at the end of her journey. I held my mother's gaze, and she looked in my eyes as she left this world with tears in her eyes. I was the last image that she saw. My hope is that my presence was a source of strength and comfort to her in those final moments, as she had been for me all of my life. After she passed, my brother Henry and I remained with her for 4 hours while we observed all of the necessary protocols. In those 4 hours, I noticed a lot of things. One of the things that stood out to me was the fact that my mother looked peaceful. She looked like herself again. She looked 20 years younger. She looked like she was finally pain-free. Her pain had ended, and she had held on to life as long as she could. As I read those words on the card after my mother passed, I couldn't help but wonder, did she read this card and say this to herself when her pain was a lot? Did she meditate on these words when things were really difficult and she was facing the prospect of her mortality? I would never know the answers to any of my rhetorical questions, of course, but what I do know is that my mother understood that pain feels permanent when we're living through it, but that it is not. My mother understood that every season ends, every storm eventually passes, and every night eventually turns into morning. I think the lesson my mother was trying to teach us on this card is that pain does not get the final word. When we're hurting, it's easy to believe that things will never change. Sometimes things don't change as fast as we want them to, and sometimes we have to be honest, they may not change at all. But through suffering, we change. Our wisdom grows, our endurance grows, our faith grows. And so my mother was teaching us on this card that our pain is not the end of our story. And that when we're going through difficult times, the bravest thing we can do is exactly what this card says. We should hold on because our pain will end. On this first anniversary of my mother's passing, I believe she will want us to pivot now and to focus less on her years of suffering and more on her entire life and legacy of faith, hope, and perseverance. And that is what I'm trying to do now, moving forward. So I'm going to encourage you and tell you that whatever you're facing today, like this card says, like my mother says, do not give up. Do not lose hope. Keep on trusting. Keep on believing. Keep moving forward. And above all, hold on. Your pain will end. I want to thank